What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon account. If you click it, you become a member. All you got to do is try recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to, so click the damn link. Now, with that being said, you are now entering the motherfucking Terrordome. Today, I have two special guests with me. I have Del Boy from Movie Mash, and I have a new comer into the arena. His name is James, aka Mr. Handsome? Isn't that what you said?
Captain.
Yeah, he's coming from Ireland, right? The land of mythical creatures. So, Del Boy, go ahead and plug your channel, sir.
Right. Well, this is Movie Mash, of course, the better channel. And I'm just doing my
Right.
channel overworked, helping him out now and again. And jump over to mine to see if you want to see real content. And hopefully you'll back my side, but we're not allowed to say just yet. Back my side on who's going to win this fight. Me. And I'm not going to say. So there you go.
Don't even know. We might agree. Who knows? See,
we won't.
That's the beautiful thing. We go into this.
We won't agree. I know you're like. You'll disagree on purpose.
I love this shit because we go into it completely blind. We don't know each other's opinions. We just all watch the movies and then we come here together to congregate and talk shit amongst each other. It's like, I don't know, high school all over again. But anyway, so let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Freaking Madman. Let's start off with Madman. Since Del Boy, since you love Madman, go ahead. What year is Madman from?
1981.
Okay, I thought so. 1981. Del Boy, go ahead and bring us into a quick synopsis of what Madman is about.
All right, so Madman Marz, 1981. So we got kids around the campfire staying in some kind of holiday resort. You know, for you Americans, you have these holiday camps,
summer camps,
and summer camp. And there's an old story where there's a crazy old man who killed his wife and children for no apparent reason, just because he's crazy. The town folks, they hear about this, they drag him to a forest, hang him. Next day, he's gone.
He got his nose chopped off.
Oh, he got his nose bitten off in a bar fight.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Jesus Christ.
Killed his family, yeah. Basically, he then, if you say his name above a whisper, he'll come after you. Don't say it. Madman Marz. You see? I'm not saying it loud. But yeah. So basically, the film, the rest of the film, like, you can imagine they're all getting slashed left, right, and center by Madman because Richie, who, if you know, shouted out his name and threw a rock through his window. Like that would matter if you've seen the state of the house, but apparently it mattered to Madman. So there you go. That's pretty much the synopsis. What have you got?
Right. James,
I would have accused it of ripping off Candyman if Candyman hadn't been written years later and made into a film over a decade later. But
saying his name in the mirror sort of thing.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. I was like, once I heard, say his name above a whisper, like he's gonna come get you. But that's like some atypical urban legend shit. Like saying,
I felt he was coming anyway. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Go ahead, James. What were you saying?
I was saying I think it stems from Bloody Mary. You know, that whole that's where Candyman got the inspiration. But the whole you summon the evil kind of thing, that really is like it's a staple in a lot of old kind of mythologies. You are summoning the thing that will end you. You piss off Zeus, he's coming down to get you.
Yeah,
this is true.
Steal your girl.
But I still
throw a lightning bolt at your ass.
Anyway, I still feel he was coming no matter what, like Jason sort of thing, But there you go. Now,
all right. Now, the synopsis for Hatchet. Go ahead, James. Hit us with a synopsis for Hatchet.
Okay, so with Hatchet, you have a pretty typical story. We've all heard it time and time again. This deformed kid is killed in a fire in a shack started by a bunch of little shits in general. So, they wanted to bully him and the prank goes out of hand. And then apparently his ghost haunts the place.
The dad killed the son. Remember? What? The dad killed the son. Remember he was too close to the door?
I forgot that. Yeah, the dad accidentally kills the son during the fire.
Yeah.
And he's haunting the swamp now. And he becomes this whole urban legend thing. But what happens when the urban legend turns out to be real?
Yeah.
It plays a lot on the whole, like, cliches. And the fact that it uses, like, practical effects, I have to really love it for that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I agree. It's basically a rip-off of every slasher type film, but it knows it's doing that. It's
I
doing it on
think
purpose.
rip-off's a bit harsh. I think Love Letter is more apt.
All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
but
a homage, bro. Like, come on. I told you. You told me this. Like, you were mad about it. You're like, what am I watching? And I'm like, bro, like, you can't watch it and be like, this is like some standalone shit. It's really like an homage to like the cheesy 80s era. Like, you have to, it's like Terrifier, bro. You can't watch Terrifier and expect some fucking, oh my God, this was an amazing script. It was amazing hands. You have to watch it for what it is. It's a cheesy homage to the 80s, or else you're going to hate the shit.
I did.
Oh, well, we'll get there in a minute. You can talk about how much you hate it later. This isn't the time yet, Derek.
All right.
All right, anyway, so that's the idea between the two stories. And then the thing that we're both noticing here, we're all noticing, is there's a correlation between the films, and that correlation is that they're both based on urban legends, especially the idea that these urban legends will come and get you. So this kind of makes a very, very interesting versus battle when you come into play, right? So we've talked about the films. We talked a little bit about it. The audience kind of get an idea of what they're about if they have not seen them already. So let's get into the next stage, which
I do have a question before you carry on. Just a quick reminder.
Yeah.
Was there a reason that Victor Crowley went after him, or is it just because they were there, sort of thing at that time? I forgot.
It's the Jason Voorhees thing. They're on his land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because the first story was that he's wandering around looking for his dad, and which doesn't really happen. And then it's just, you're on his property, he's gonna kill your ass. Come on, even him jumping out of the boat at the end is kind of like homage to Jason. But
there's also Kane Hodder plays him, so
yeah, Kane Hodder's in his.
So he's looking for himself, sort of thing.
Yeah, Kane Hodder also plays the dad as well.
Yeah.
So, now that we talked about both films and we got an idea of what they're about, which, by the way, Hatchet has a very amazing cast. Just throwing that out there. Let's talk about which film is better. I'm gonna go around the panel, and Derek, I'm going to save you for last. But I think, in my opinion, Hatchet is a better movie of the two. And the reason why Hatchet is a better movie between the two is because it knows what the hell it is. It's an 80s, it's like a cheesy homage to the 80s. It has a whole bunch of practical effects. There's a whole lot of blood, guts, and ass. It's funny because you know, like, the dialogue is supposed to be stupid, and it's supposed to be dumb. So it knows exactly what it is. Madman takes itself way too fucking serious. At times it gets really fucking boring. And like and then even when it does get to the kills, like, the kills ain't even all that. So that's the reason why I think that Hatchet is the better movie between the two. James, what do you think? Which movie do you think is the better one, and why?
Okay, well, if I had to pick, I would say Hatchet, mostly because star-studded cast, great practical effects, lots of in-jokes. Oh, there's a hand. Lots of in-jokes. Because, like, if you have a character, you have this one character that plays the same, well, not the same lad, but plays different characters throughout the original trilogy. It's all the same actor. And even at one point, he comes across the corpse of a character he played in one of the prior films, and someone says, "It looks like you." Oh, I guess we all look the same.
Like, them inside jokes.
Yeah, it's a nice little inside joke. So you got inside jokes, you got, like, respect for its legacy. On the other hand, I have to give Madman credit where it's due. On the budget it had, and the story it was trying to tell, it still showed some pretty decent effects, especially for a time where these were being, like, shelled out on a daily basis.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like, I have to stick with my gut and say, you know what? I prefer Hatchet, but that's only because it's taking what we already know and doing something different with it. Well, maybe not different, but it's showing love for the genre. While Madman, in itself, it is trying to be its own thing. It was trying to be the new Jason. It was trying to be the new Leatherface. It was trying to start something. And you can see that.
It was trying to be an original idea, but it wasn't original.
No.
It does have some parts as original. Come on now. But
what, hiding in a fridge?
Yeah. I mean, you tell me, what horror character has scared anyone enough to hide in a fucking fridge? I don't know. I've never seen it.
I feel like it's something out there.
It was good enough for Spielberg to take the idea for Indiana Jones.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, he ripped Madman off. But right. Well, first of all, I want to make this clear. I know what Hatchet was trying to do. Yeah,
no, you did it because you said it was shit.
No, I know. I'm saying is I want to make it clear. I know what he was trying to do, so
Right.
I don't want to see things in the comments giving me shit about. Oh, you didn't. I know what it was going for. I do, but for me, from the start, the characters were fucking annoying. Now, I know you say yeah, they're supposed to be, but all of them were annoying. I didn't like any of them, but we spent so much. It's an hour and 20 minutes to film this. We spent literally an hour before he even turns up in the film. And I'm like, if we're just going to go out, let's just go all out with.
It's called world building.
Victor we see the last half an hour. I have to spend nearly 50 minutes listening to these kids, and they were trying to be funny. And some people are probably fun. I was just like that little Asian.
How long
boy.
did you listen to the people in Madman though?
You know, the Asian was changing his accent every few seconds.
Oh, that was funny.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
You didn't think that was funny? That shit was hilarious.
no,
to me.
it was annoying to me. And the black dude every 2 minutes was actually he's probably about the only one of all of them that was okay because some parts he was funny.
Hey, yo, shout out to the black guy because he was on a Cosby Show.
Oh, was he?
Really?
You know the
Yeah, he
main
was on a Cosby
character.
Show.
I've seen him on something else, and I can't put my finger on it. You know
He's been on a lot of black TV shows, like the
all of them.
Sisters,
The girls are stupid. Did you see the guy doing the recording? There's two girls.
Yeah, the dude that was acting like a porn director.
Do you know who he was? Come on,
No.
James. That's Bill Murray's brother.
Fuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Hey, look,
reckon.
this movie has a star-studded cast. Look at that.
Yeah, it really does, and I'm going to give it that. Now, what I was going to say is, so for me, for the first hour, I know what it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't. Second of all, yeah, pretty much that. Now, I'm going to give it credit, which I thought the kills were pretty funny and gruesome at the same time. So they nailed that properly. And I wish we'd seen more of that from the start. I didn't quite like the prosthetic plastically look he had about him. And I didn't like how they revealed him when he came out. But in general, yeah, so that's pretty much it. I did not like the film for the first 50 minutes. I had to tolerate those fucking kids for, I know I'm getting old, for a long time. And it just done my head in. So for the last half an hour was good. He was good. The kills were good. The practical effects were pretty decent. Obviously, all the nods to all the. I probably need to plug this in. All the nods to all the cameos were top notch. I mean, come on, you can't get any bigger than that. But as I say,
you got Michael Myers' niece right there in one of the main character slots. Like,
was it?
Yeah, Danielle Harris. She was
Danielle
our
Harris
main.
was in there, right? Who was she?
She was our female protagonist. The one going around looking for vengeance for Daddy.
She was the main.
Yeah.
That was Danielle Harris. Okay, yeah.
I
heard she's really nice, by the way.
Bear with me 1 second. I need to plug this in.
Got you.
Don't move.
But yeah, I heard Danielle Harris is nice as hell. Like people talk about her all the time. And then also the chick that plays the girl from Sleepaway Camp. I heard she's nice as hell too. But yeah. Well, while I need him to come back so I can argue with him.
You will any second now.
Okay, so wait. I'll let him center herself. Just center your gravity.
I need. Oh, it's so hot here today.
Really, it's cooling down over here.
Quite warm over here as well.
It's still fucking baking. All right, sorry about that. Battery dying. But yeah. So that was they're the main reasons why I did not like it. I just thought I spent too much time with these people who were supposed to be funny and weren't. It was annoying. All the tropes were there, but I wanted that. We expected that. We knew what it was. The kills were good. Madman, that's different. But I'm not going to talk about that yet, am I?
So I have to ask you. You said that the characters were annoying.
Yeah.
Victor Crowley didn't pop up to halfway through the movie, but in Madman Marz wasn't really in the movie like that. There was a whole lot of fucking talking in that movie. How were you able to deal with that talking? And that dialogue was
because they weren't trying to be funny at any point.
But it was bad dialogue. It's boring though. It was very boring, bad dialogue that had absolutely nothing to do with building anything in the story.
Can I ask you a question though? Doesn't you not liking these characters because they're trying to be funny or because you find them really fucking annoying? Doesn't it make it all the better when you watch them get like their head pulled off or whatever?
Yeah, but it took 50 minutes at that point, and I was like, oh.
It's
I'm
like
leaving
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Netflix version. You're not supposed to like the characters. You want them to fucking die.
Don't,
You
for the
want
love of Christ,
you
don't talk
want-
about that second
again.
movie.
I
you
get
want
it.
Leatherface
I do.
to kill everybody. That was the point of the movie. The movie is
I
to
get it.
root for
No,
Leatherface.
I do. I get it. I mean, like, please, I do, 100%, and I get why it's got a following, and I get it. I understand it. Maybe it's because I was expecting something different when I went to watch it. Maybe, I don't know, but I
You
just
saw
found
the cover.
very
You saw the
disappointing.
year. You knew what the hell you were getting yourself into. All right,
I
look.
didn't.
How about
I
this?
just thought it was just going to be a
I'm
horror.
gonna make my life easier. Explain why Madman is better than Hatchet. I
Well,
think
first
that'll
of
make.
all, you know,
make
I
my
got
life
mad
easier.
love for Madman, regardless. So you
So
can't.
you're saying
do
that you're biased.
Yeah, I'm biased for a start, but no, the bottom.
We're supposed to be unbiased in
Right,
this damn Terrordome, sir.
Right. So Madman, it has atmosphere. It starts off, it's got all the tropes. We have to remember it was the 80s. So, you know, it was following on the back of you know, there's this story, and I can never forget. Have you seen the film called The Burning?
Yeah,
Yes,
I love
with
it.
Cropsey.
Love it.
Well,
Great
I've not
movie.
seen that yet, and I'm meant to. All right, so these two films are being made at the same time. So Madman had to change its script because it was following the legend of the burning. So in last minute, it had to change its script literally the day before, give it a new story. You know, so basically it's the burning. So I still meaning to watch that, and a part of me don't want to watch it in case it's better than Madman. You know, and I don't want to see
It
that.
is. It's definitely better than Madman.
Oh yeah,
Is it?
Burning's better than a lot of slashers in the 80s.
Really,
Yeah, it's true.
really
Yeah.
that good, huh? Well, I've been
Well,
meaning.
you got Savini in it.
It's not okay. Look, it's not gonna like knock your fucking socks off with like plot and everything, but for its time and
Well,
what it is, like it's good.
I think Madman's better, but look, the thing is that it has atmosphere, right? No, I'm only kidding about being biased. I'm being as true as I can. All right.
Now
about
you're
it.
being dead ass serious about that bias, but continue.
Yeah, I am biased, but I'm going to defend it for the reasons why I think it's better. This, if the burning's better than that, I would say that. But anyway, as I say, so it has atmosphere. It has great kills. Now, I was watching it earlier, and the acting,
Great
throughout the
kills,
film-
and you would say that
Yeah,
the kills are
right.
better than
So,
Hatchet?
do you remember the bit when TP is getting? Oh, I know you even know the names, right? Do you remember the guy when the rope goes around his neck and they're pulling him up on the tree?
Yeah, and he
Did you
saves
see
himself.
his face? His face looks like it was purple. There was a point when I'm wondering, they've gone practical too far because his face was, and then when they dropped into the floor, he was dying for his breath. I'm like, there's a realism there, like to that. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know, is he a really good actor or were they actually joking him? The practical effects for what they had literally no money, and what they done with that was great. Now, some of it, looked a bit iffy, but it's the 80s, and I think even if you look back at Jason, which had a budget, it looked a bit iffy. But as I said, like in general, he was a creepier character, but it's unfair to say that because Hatchet is supposed to be kind of a comedy as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of unfair to. I mean, if they really kept him in the shadows, he could have been probably scarier. I forget what I mean, but they didn't.
I mean, was Madman the movie with the two people in the jacuzzi swimming around in circles for like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
That pulled me out. That's
what I'm telling you. See, the movie is filled with stupid scenes like that, where it's like they're like,
right,
we don't know what we want to do, so we need some filler. That movie is filled with filler.
Here's the thing: if they took that scene, right, the two counselors are swimming around and they've already had that little tuffle or whatever, and they shortened it by a full minute and a half, there'd still be too much of that scene.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to point out, you remember the little argument they had? Yeah.
Which was a stupid argument.
The argument was about. I'm actually knocking it because he sang that song at the campfire.
No, I think it was about him scaring the kids or something. I don't remember.
He sang a song that scared the kids, not the old guy who told the actual horror story.
Oh, no. I think it's because he like questioned their relationship in front of everybody.
Well, no, she said that wasn't funny to scare the kids like that, and he's like, "Oh, don't be silly. It's only and that's where it started."
No, but he also said something about like because they were getting ready. The camp thing was over, and then he was saying something about like she was talking about going back to the city or something, and he was kind of like, "Well, what are we?" Or like, "What's gonna?" I think it was something about the relationship, and he did it in front of everybody and embarrassed her.
But it just started because she was angry.
It says a lot when you can't remember why they were fighting. But you know that was a part of it.
What I'm saying is, to me, it was just ridiculous the little argument they had, and that dragged on for I didn't give a shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but that movie is filled with that stuff. That's the bad part.
You know what? It's the 80s, and there is some parts of it that would made no sense. But as I said, like I didn't find them annoying. I didn't. They didn't tell silly jokes. No one had overly long screen time. And you know, the main girl, the blonde girl, her name is Gayton something. She's the girl from the blonde girl. She's the girl from the Dawn of the Dead. The
Okay.
the blonde girl on that. So it's about the only character I know from anything. But as I said, it had none of them annoyed me much. All right, maybe a little bit now and again, but none of them annoyed me, and I felt it was creepier, which is unfair to say because Thingy was kind of a comedy. In general, I just had more fun. By the time I wasn't frustrated with anyone, I wasn't pissed off with any character, I wasn't losing the will to live, and I didn't check my watch every 2 seconds. By the way, I haven't got one. I got a phone, but there you go.
I will agree that some of the characters in Madman feel a bit more real, like more genuine.
Again,
say Victor Crowley's victims, but at the same time, we are
a comedy,
in a horror comedy, and they're not supposed to be.
You've got to give that a break. That's
Mm.
what I'm saying, and that's where the problem for me lies: is that the comedy didn't hit. I feel like Crowley. There was one bit that I did find it was funny, and I was like, I shouldn't be laughing. Is do you remember when Kane Hodder was trying to feed him as a kid?
Oh yeah.
And he had the prosthetics, and he was doing this. I was like, all right, I shouldn't be laughing here, but that was kind of funny, yeah. And I'm like, all right, that was funny, and I felt like Victor Crowley was funnier than any of the rest of them. I just found that we spent way too much time with them, and I'd like to have seen them earlier so I can get the show going. All the characters, all of them were bad.
I mean,
but once it happened, though,
you do see him earlier.
I know you mean, yeah, but we kind of really kicks in at the last. I think it's the last 25, 30 minutes. He really, this is when they first go onto his land, and he runs out like you know, a Power Rangers enemy from the TV show.
Yeah,
like that. And I'm like, oh god.
He even has the explosion in the background. Yeah.
Do you remember the first scene when I was a kid? I'd seen Nightmare on Elm Street and all that, yeah. And the first scene when they look up into the trees and you see
Madman.
I was like, shit, I'm turning this shit off now. But I agree with you on this though. I watched it today, and the noise and the sound effects. Yeah, I noticed it this time.
Oh my god, dude! They have like the most stupidest synthy sound effects ever. Like
I'm just waiting.
I swear, I was just waiting for the boing. You know, like one of them stupid effects, like somebody falling or something. Like that's what I was waiting for the whole time.
When the rope went around to the guy's neck and he went up into the tree, I was like, oh, right, it's killing the atmosphere, maybe. Yeah. And I also think he had a portable DJ kit, like Michael Myers. Every time you know he's there because he's doing it now. You know, he was doing his little scratches. But yeah, the sound effects. But it was the 80s, and a lot of stuff had that back then. You know,
but the 80s had the weird thing about it is the 80s has they have such great soundtracks and sound effects and shit like that. So it's weird. It's weird and rare to run across a movie that actually has a bad sound effect and bad score. Like it's weird. But I'm gonna let James go. I'm gonna give James a minute to respond to anything that we've said. So go ahead, James.
Oh no! I was going to say you have some pretty like amazing soundtracks, but the bit about Michael Myers, just the image popped in my head. Like that music's playing every time he's entering a room, so I just couldn't help but think he's carrying around this like little radio with a tape on it, just to be like,
or a portable DJ kit.
Just every time he sees somebody come into his house or he has to enter a building, right? Just set the tape in and play and. Yeah.
Just let everyone know I'm here before I let everyone know I'm here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know.
Even if they can't see me, they have to know I'm here. Okay.
I will say this though: at least Madman has an actual theme. I don't think Hatchet has a theme. Most horror characters have their iconic tunes, which will actually make an amazing video one day. I think that one day I want to have a debate about which movie has the best horror theme, and I think that'll be a really cool video to do. And because I know we're all gonna have something different, so I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I'm talking about every horror movie. Do you really want to die on this? There's called playing it safe. You know, like there are movies like freaking, you know, Halloween that have like one of the most iconic themes that you could kind
Listen,
of
do
play
they
in
have a
cinema.
jingle at the start of the film? Like it was nearly a musical, this Madman movie. He even
Yeah,
has
I
his own
mean,
jingle.
Now I
Right.
want to see Madman the musical.
Thank you.
Dun.
Thank you. Right, we've just won the argument. Good night.
Nah, fuck, we ain't done yet. So now we're gonna get into the hypothetical versus. Wait, before we move on, James, do you have anything you want to add to the which movie's better argument before we move on?
In terms of which movie's better, if we're looking at practical effects alone, like Hatchet has one because of the budget it had. But if you're looking for even lighting, I think Madman maybe beats Hatchet in their regard, because I remember watching Hatchet the first time and thinking, my God, it's really fucking dark.
Really, I had that
Some
feeling.
of the scenes are really dark, and then you look at Madman, and it's dark in Madman. But once again, you got to take budget into consideration. But a lot of it kind of adds to this whole idea that they are in these woods. That there's not going to be like a lighting crew all over the place. It's going to be that gloomy and like dark,
Yeah.
as opposed to Hatchet, where you have some moments where just like pitch black. I'm over exaggerating a little bit there, but where it's just really dark, and then you have other scenes like on the boat where everything is bright and illuminated, and you can see the fish in the water if you kind of look in there. That's once again being completely over dramatic, but it just seemed that the lighting was swapping back and forth a lot, in my opinion.
I didn't get that. I thought
I felt the opposite. I felt like Madman had bad lighting.
I actually agree. I thought Hatchet was a bit well lit. You could see it correct. I think Madman, obviously being the 80s and bad this and that, and they were trying to get atmosphere, but I found that it was Hatchet. I just thought Hatchet was well lit all the time.
I feel like Madman was hard to watch at certain, like night scenes were hard to watch.
And there is moments, I agree. And obviously,
I still think the whole Madman dark scenes, because of the lighting, adds to the film, because most importantly, stuff in the woods.
It feels like you're legitimately okay. I get what you're saying. You feel like this is a movie. It's like kind of like a found footage where you're actually watching it happening in real time. That's the thing that. Okay, I can see that. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's it. But if you talk about overall quality, I think that's what we're going to discuss next.
Yeah.
Which is better? Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on the movies, particular, because we're about to move into like the actual versus battle.
I do have one more. Two thoughts. I thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hatchet was shit and Madman wins, but just that.
Nah, I think by story wise, I think as a film, as like in regards to enjoyability, Hatchet fucking wins hands down, bro.
Yeah,
Madman is such a fucking boring movie, bro.
Enjoyed every. Now I just want to say I didn't hate it just for the sake of hating it.
No, I don't either. I just really, when I legitimately say that I was bored watching Madman at times, I was bored watching Madman. Like, yeah, sure. Like sometimes when you're watching Hatchet and you're hearing a little stupid dialogue, you kind of like zone out here and there.
You did agree that you thought it was fun though, right?
What, Hatchet or Madman?
No, Madman.
No, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
you sent me a message saying, "Yeah, that was fun. That was good."
I think Madman was fun.
Nice.
I'm gonna be honest.
I was being nice, bro, because I know you love that movie. Like, it's all right. The kills are dope, but what the process that takes us to getting to the kills is really what made it like unbearable at times. Like, there's so much cluttery plot. It's so much cluttery dialogue until you get to where the people die. You're just like, damn, dude. And then let's not even go into like that ending was kind of like lackluster. He puts her on the hook. He scratches her. She shanks him with this freaking medieval knife, and then he runs away, and the movie's over. Like that
don't run away.
No. You also have that guy that's traumatized. Saying,
He's like,
she stabs him. He hits something. He knocks a candle. The house supposedly goes on fire. You see all the dead bodies, but you don't see him again.
That's lackluster. They're like, I was expecting like an epic final fight, but the thing is, another thing about this movie is Madman didn't set up a final player. I don't know if you didn't notice it or not, but like, it just seemed like the final player was by default, and it wasn't like most of the movies in the 80s. They build up one character to be like, yo, this is the person that's gonna like be like the ballsy one to go against them or whatever. Yeah. Sorry if you hear like fucking cars in the background. I live on a busy street. Anyway, they set it up to the point where you know, like, okay, this person stands a chance. I felt none of that with any of the characters. I thought maybe it would have been what's his name, Richie, the dude that like was spying on him the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been him the whole movie. I'm like, all right, maybe he's gonna pop out and be like, bitch, and sock that fool or something. But it never happened. Like that movie never set up a final player like at all. Like we just like I said, we got old girl by default. Like Hatchet, off top, Daniel Harris is gonna be the final girl because she got the pistol.
She's Daniel Harris.
Yeah, that too.
Lads, I actually need to go pick up some food, so I'll be gone for a little bit.
One eternity later.
All right, so now we're moving on to the next segment, which is the one that everybody's been waiting for. We're actually entering the Terrordome, and we're going to have these two square off in a hypothetical situation. So I'm going to go around the room, and since Del Boy went last time, I'm going to let you go first this time, and then I'm going to just go back around. It'll be Del Boy, James, and me. All right, and we're going to talk about who will win in a hypothetical fight between the two. If the two are walking in the forest, and they run into each other. Who would win? Now, I think Victor Crowley has a bit of like immortality, or he shows off a bit of immortality, right? Am I right, James? So let's ignore that.
Because I think Madman may have as well.
Yeah, there is a certain level of immortality between both of these combatants.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't have to alter anything. All right, cool. But let's say this: they can both fucking die in this situation. One of these motherfuckers gotta be dead at the end of this damn battle. So go ahead, Del Boy. Who do you think will be the last man standing in a hypothetical versus battle?
People are going to be shocked that I'm going to say this. I know. But no, fucking Madman's going to win. That's who's going to win. That's it. Enough said. What? Right. Okay. So I watched it very closely. Now, when it comes to strength, they seem kind of equal because there was a part where even though it was a female, Crowley lifted a girl up over his head and he dropped her on that big stick. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And he pushed her down. Now, Madman lifted a guy bigger and crushed his back while he was holding him up in the air, so I'm going to give them both the same amount of strength because it's they seem fairly strong. But I'm going to say this, and this kind of ends it for me, is that, and it was even said on the film, the girl ran up and hit Crowley with a shovel, and he just went straight into the ground, and he couldn't get up he was down for a while. They even said a few minutes later, did you see how easy I knocked him down? And the girl goes, yeah. He goes, wow, let's do that again and we'll get away. And I'm like, right, Madman wins. That's it. There's no way he's getting knocked down that easy. There's no way at all. So I just thought, right, that's it. He wins. That's the reason. That's mainly that reason. Now, as I said, strength, same way, but I think Madman also he's tactical as well. I think Crowley wasn't tactical. He just mental run after you. I think speed may go to Crowley.
Crowley's fast.
He's fast. You do see Madman running at one point, and he can run, and he doesn't wear shoes or socks, which makes him even tougher, especially in the outback. But I'm just saying we're hypothetical. We're just putting it all out. The guy's running around with no shoes and socks. He'd be able to walk on thorns and sticks. And as I said, he's tactical. There's a few times where he's thought out some of the kills. He knows what he's doing. He's playing a game. Sometimes he looks like he's playing a game. Where Crowley just runs at you and gets knocked over quickly. That's it. Now, as I said, they both seem to be somewhat immortal. When it comes to supernatural, Madman Marz must be extremely old. He seems this shit happened years ago. You get the impression it was back in the 50s, the 40s. Yeah. So, and he's living in, it just seems there's a bit there. It doesn't quite say it, but Crowley gets shot in the chest. He does go down for quite a long time, to be fair, but he does get back up, in fairness too. So, but the point is that she hit him with a shovel. I don't know if you remember, you guys, but he went down. He went down for a while. They ran off, which they keep stopping. For some reason, they keep stopping when they run off to talk for a while. It's like, no,
that's the case with a lot of the horror films.
It's a typical horror trope.
I know, but they even said the main character says to the girl, he goes, did you see how easy we knocked him over? She goes, yeah. He goes, let's do that again, sort of thing. And then later on, they're easy come up behind him and put a claw hammer in the back of his head and set him on fire. Now, that wouldn't have happened to Madman. He seemed to be in stealth mode the whole time, and he'd been stealth mode the whole time, and you couldn't catch him. The only time he was caught is when that girl stabbed him at the end, which he put her on the hook. But that was because he was putting her on the hook. It didn't affect him. You see, it hurt him a little bit, but that was it. So for me,
But most of the people were unaware that Madman was running around, right?
Yeah.
And,
Okay,
and
so
he wouldn't let her as a survivor off the hook.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
I got what you said
the
there.
reason why Madman was catching people off guard, which is cool with the whole stealth thing, is because nobody was aware that he was there.
Yeah.
So,
On purpose.
yeah, but once you ring the alarm, especially in a situation against like Victor Crowley, by the way, I think that Victor Crowley is going to be a little bit more edge. The thing is, too, like, I get what you're saying about him getting knocked down, but that was just like to lure the audience into like this false sense of security.
We're not
like,
talking about it. We're talking about the fight.
When it comes to me, I do have a question I have to ask though.
Go ahead.
Are we going by abilities through just the first film or the?
Let's stick to the first film because I haven't watched
That's
it.
fine. That's fine.
I couldn't get through the first one, so like.
I know. It's just more. What was it? If I could include the other two, I could make more comments about his strength and all that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, chime in, James.
Okay. Well, honestly, if we're talking full-on fight, both men don't know the other one's coming. They just randomly meet each other in the middle of a forest. I think with his speed, Crowley's got the advantage. On the other hand, I do have to agree that Madman appears to be more tactical than Crowley. But Crowley is a force of nature, both literally and figuratively. He keeps coming and coming and coming. And while, he did go down by the shovel, he still got back up. Yeah. And despite knowing that he's coming for them, Crowley was not stopped. He wasn't held up at any point. While
I don't know. They stuck
sneaking
that
around,
thing in his head, threw him to the floor, and set him on fire.
But then the rain put him out. So
like,
he keeps coming
for the fucking rain.
Like
I'm just saying, like he kept coming back.
Using your own point about him taking this damage and going down. The one time we see Madman take any damage, he recoils. Like he doesn't. He kind of loses it a little bit. He doesn't keep his composure. Victor is stabbed with a hammer, smacked with a shovel, set on fire, and he keeps coming.
And
he doesn't change. And shot, yes. He doesn't stop. So,
all right. You know, I'm going to be a bit unfair about the fire there because we don't get to see Madman set on fire and how he would cope with the fire.
It doesn't matter. He's saying that
I'm going to say that
doesn't take damage as well as Victor does. Madman got stabbed. He's like, and he makes
Victor has a higher pain threshold. So I'm imagining if Madman does come with it, even with the axe. We know Victor's taken an axe before. He's taken an axe to the face.
True.
Well, didn't Madman take an axe to the face?
Yes, but Victor is once again taking a lot more damage throughout his film.
Madman had his nose bitten off. He had an axe when he was hung by his neck at the start, and man hit him in the face and in the neck with an axe. Yet the next day he fucks off and he goes and have his breakfast.
Yeah,
but was he set on fire?
Huh? At the end, kind of, but you know what? As I said, like that's some, we can't really.
Another thing that I'm gonna I know that we kind of said that they kind of have similar strengths, but I feel like I'm gonna say that I think Victor showed more feats of being stronger. The fact that he's ripping off limbs and heads and shit like super effortlessly says a lot. I get Madman broke somebody's back.
Was it the first film that he just basically saws somebody?
He rips their head open like that.
Yeah, like
he rips their head open. The black guy gets his arms ripped off. Like that one guy gets his arms ripped off and then the legs grabbed and then just swung into a wall and his head is exploded.
Yeah, but that was a torso with no legs and no arms. Yeah,
because he ripped the arms
no
off.
legs and no arms.
Listen, Madman threw a rope around TP's neck and dead weight lifted him all the way up onto this high tree with no problem.
But did he rip a arm off?
A 6-foot guy above his head and just cracked his back?
Didn't Victor rip somebody's head off, clean off their neck too? He just twisted their head around and then pulled it off.
Their head round.
Yeah. And then just ripped it right off though. That's what I'm saying. Like, like these are amazing feats of strength. Like
I know
somebody's head, clear off their body, arms off their body.
Do that.
This
I'm
is
sure
pure animal brutality from both ends. except like Victor is a bit more beast mode than
He's fast. I would give him more
that
speed.
of Madman, because Madman, as you pointed out yourself, he's more tactical, he's more cunning, he's planning ahead. But as stated, if this is just they run into each other in the middle of the woods and Victor decides I'm going to go feral, he's coming for Madman. Madman doesn't have time to plot. He doesn't have time to try and be sneaky. He can try and get away, and then
he may
plan,
not, but he still will hold his own, and probably still outsmart beast mode Victor Crowley.
How would he outsmart him?
Strong.
Like, what is he going to do? Hang him in the middle of the woods?
Man, he can lift Victor Crowley. I'm just saying. All I know is
Victor Crowley.
You really think Victor Crowley's going to just sit there and be like, yes, lift me?
Look, Victor's got daddy issues. He doesn't have that level of daddy issues.
I know, right?
So let a grown-ass man lift him in the air, be like, thank you. No. Victor's not going to stand there and let nothing happen.
In that situation, Madman has shown he's got brute strength, even shown he's probably stronger than Crowley by lifting
that.
As I said, like when
now you're just bullshitting, bro.
All right. As I said, you see him lifting a 6-foot man. You see him pulling up a guy in a rope. Yeah, you see him doing all that. That's dead weight. You didn't see Victor Crowley doing that only to a girl. He twisted someone's head and lifted it off and pulled someone's arms off. But I'm
you
sure
think that pulling. You really think that lifting somebody dead weight? Now look, if Madman Marz would have lifted him up and went and ripped him clear in half, then I would be like, yo, okay. He might be able to fuck with Victor, but the fact that there was no limbs or anything that's not an easy feat. I don't know if you understand that.
I don't know if you remember, but he also cut someone's throat, tore his whole throat off with his wings.
Yeah, that's true. He did rip him out, but the guy's got sharp nails. The guy's got really sharp nails.
He just ripped the whole guy's throat out. It was the alcoholic who literally had no speaking lines.
That was a whack ass kill, by the way.
Yeah, he just went dish like that. It don't matter. It's in the film. All right. All I'm saying.
I do want to say this.
We do have that, and if he slashed Crowley like that, it would do some serious damage.
Yeah, but Victor has to take it.
But if we go by their abilities, even if with the immortality, because of how weird Victor's is, that certain criteria has to be met. Madman still doesn't hold that advantage. He doesn't. Even with the immortality, because of Victor's weird kind of curse thing, Madman actually needs to leave his comfort zone and go out to places to find, the criteria. And while I think Madman is only going to be around for as long as people, like a Candyman situation, as long as people know his legend, he can exist.
Yeah.
So all Victor needs to do is get back up after being, I don't know, hung or got his throat slashed out or whatever. Get back up, kill anybody that's talk about Madman, and that's it.
Well,
the biggest thing I think that's here is that if these two are running at each other and they hit each other with their axes, right? Just let's say they both just hit each other about right here with the axe. I think Victor will be able to sustain himself a little bit better than Madman. Madman's going to take that.
I don't know. He fell over with a shovel.
What?
He got
I get it, but again, back to James's point that he made earlier. Madman shows the tendency of not being able to understand, like he hasn't been hurt. He plays on this whole stealth.
He was hurt. He's got scars. He's got he had an axe shoved in his face.
I get it, but I'm telling you, this little fucking girl with this little medieval dagger went, and he was like,
it wasn't a medieval dagger. It was a 70s flick knife. Okay. Yeah, and
how did he respond to being stabbed with that knife?
He just wasn't happy about it. You know what I mean?
He fell over. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's not used to it. That's all.
And
exactly.
Going back to a point you made earlier about how he was very impressive for lifting the 6-foot tall man. He got stabbed by a woman that I don't know her actual height, but I'm assuming she's like 5'8", 5'7".
She was on a hook.
Like that can't be like she couldn't have that much force behind the knife to.
That knife didn't go deep either.
Yeah, but what did he do?
That knife didn't go deep either. It was like that. That was like that's like a surface level cut.
All he done was like that, and
beauty knocked over on a spindle of a whatever wheel.
We don't know. He didn't fall over. He didn't die from it. He just went.
Yeah, he just ran away.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. He was like, "Oh, I'm hurt. I'm out of here."
Hey, This is my house, bitch. Don't be doing that shit in here when I invite
Yeah,
you
don't
around.
stab me in my house. Yeah, that's
Don't
it.
stab me in my house. So you ran out of the door
He was
upset.
disappointed, you know. That's the only noise he made. It was all disappointment. I can't believe he did that.
I do think that's a good rule to live by, though. If you're coming into my house, don't stab me.
Right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
but-
That's the noise I'd make, and he knocked over a candle. You know,
Yeah,
but that was
exactly. But I'm just
so.
go ahead.
This could, I will not back down. So this could go on forever.
That's
but
fine.
I'm just saying,
That's what the discussion's about. Who would win in our opinions? And I'm
Right,
going to
so-
stick by my guns based solely on if they run into each other, no plotting, no planning, and they go dead set running at each other, and swing their axes. If Victor gets hit, he's going to take that damage a lot better than if Madman gets hit. Madman is going to try and get away.
If he gets up from it, because even a shovel, as I keep saying, knocked him the fuck down by a young girl.
But and then look, here's the thing. We
Easily.
didn't even get to see like how how freaking Marz responds to being hit, because all of his shit is like sneaky behind the cameras, like, you know, things like that. You never said, like I said, they never set up like an alpha character to end up to combat.
There is a moment. I shouldn't say this because it's just gonna fuck my case up.
Go ahead, man.
There's a moment where the main character, the main female, is driving off on a bus with a few kids. She's trying to get away. Madman puts his hand in.
Oh yeah.
And she hits him with this little stick. He's he didn't like that at all.
That's what I'm saying. So exactly, Madman does not.
On, man. You can live. You can do all this.
Okay, but even
He's
if
got a
we
big
disregard that, if we disregard his whole little bus hand scenario, he doesn't. He shows that he's a much better tactical thinker by sneaking around and hunting them down and catching them when they're vulnerable. But once again, this is not a one has the advantage over the other. This is purely middle of the forest. Both men see each other and both come running at each other. This is a full-on brawl, full-on first sight, first kill. And in that situation, no matter how tactical or no matter how cunning Madman can be, pure brutality, strength, and speed will overcome that. And in that scenario, I have to give it.
I was going to say though, when it comes to brutality and strength, Madman still has it.
How? You know? There is no freaking feat that you can use that is going to justify this argument.
I mean, how is he stronger than Madman? He's not. How?
He ripping
people's arms off is a pretty impressive feat, in my opinion.
Someone up above your head and breaking their back with just your two hands like that's pretty strong. And lifting a guy up dead weight up onto the ground, that's pretty strong too. You know,
yes, and then ripping someone's head clean off of their body isn't.
I see him getting knocked over by a shovel and staying down. And in the film,
you keep going back to the shovel. That is your one fall point.
It's because you keep saying
that's the one thing you keep going back to remind
because
us.
You guys keep saying how strong, and I'm saying, well, if he's that strong, he wouldn't have been knocked over. And you're saying
that doesn't have anything to do with strength.
I'm pointing out how strong he was.
You watch any UFC fight, and you know well that they can be so unpredictable. You have these guys that are incredibly strong, incredibly well trained. One comes running at the other one from the other side of the octagon, and he can be knocked out in 5 seconds with one punch because it's unpredictable how a hit lands versus how somebody can take it.
Right. So it's saying this could be unpredictable then, the fight.
Oh, yeah. Of course, the fight can be unpredictable.
I agree. It could be unpredictable. It could go the other way. But I'm just saying, my point is that whether Madman won or Crowley, it's fair. It's kind of even. I'm just saying it's fairly even. Code. The only thing is, the only advantage that Crowley has, and I will give this to him, is he does seem very fast. I mean, he's fast,
and he's got a higher pain threshold.
Speed is kind of important.
You got to admit that his threshold for pain is a lot higher than freaking Marz.
I would say his threshold, but his threshold seems a bit higher. He does moan sometimes, you know. I mean,
of course, it hurts, but it doesn't bother. It doesn't bother his mission. Like if he's set to kill you, it's not going to throw it off too much. He's going to continue on that path.
Well, he did this Madman getting hit by a stick on his hand. It didn't stop him.
You said what?
When Madman got hit on the stick we got hit by a stick on his hand. He didn't give up either. So you know, you Madman, don't. All right, no, but I have to say, I was watching it earlier on. I was like, "Oh, you just fucked it up." Yeah, when he put his hand in, she started hitting him with this little stick. Yeah, he was, and I was like, "All right."
But that's what I'm saying, though. Look, this is the thing.
Fucked it up.
Here's the thing. Even if Madman had the advantage of being stealthy, like let's say Victor's just walking through the woods, Madman's like creeping through the woods or whatever, sneaks up on Victor, attacks him. I really don't think either character will have enough time unless like first of all, Madman isn't gonna know like I'm gonna have to cut this dude's head off in order to make like a real actual to make this kill worthwhile in order to stop this from continuing. Let's say friggin' Madman walks up, smacks Victor in the back of the head with the hatchet. Victor falls down. Madman's like, all right, that was done. And then walks away. And all of a sudden, you just hear Crowley just run behind him. Boom, hits him. And then
that's true. Both men don't know the other's abilities.
exactly.
And if you have, say, Madman come up behind Crowley, try to hand him by a rope, he's going to be met with somebody who's just as strong, if not stronger than him, pulling at the rope and probably breaking it.
Exactly.
Because, and then, there's Madman holding a rope, and Victor's there with his axe, now pissed off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then Victor also has a sand blaster, so we're just gonna throw that in there too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the sand blaster. Shouldn't that be connected to electric, or is it battery operated?
No, they have battery operated ones.
All right, because I was just thinking, mine is. I got a plug on it, but anyway, as I say, look.
All right, wait. Let's do our final thoughts because it's getting kind of repetitive now. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go around the panel. We're gonna give our final thoughts. I'm gonna start off first, and then we're gonna go James and then Del Boy because I know you got a lot to say because you have the weakest argument. So Hatchet wins this hands down because first of all, Victor Crowley can take hella amounts of pain. Bro's strong as shit. He ripped off heads, rips off limbs, and on top of that, neither character knows the other. So I don't think Madman's gonna know like I have to deal an overly extensive amount of damage to this man to put him down forever. So even if Madman does use his sneaky stealth abilities, hits Victor, Victor falls over, he's going to assume that he's dead. And then Victor also has shown the ability to be sneaky and cunning as well, because in the movie, he pops back up out of freaking nowhere after they thought they got clear away. So based off of these scenarios, he's probably going to pop back up on Madman. He's going to get in a close combat where I feel like that's where Victor is going to reign supreme. He is going to rain down a blow of hatchet strikes to this fool Madman, put him down, and then maybe rip his head off just for good measures, and then go raw. So yeah, Hatchet for the win. James, you're up.
Hatchet, and I have one big reason why Hatchet wins overall, but it's already been said. Victor's abilities. We've seen him rip limbs off. We've seen him pull people's jaws off from their skull. We've seen him do so many amazing physical things. And then he's fast. He can pop out of nowhere. We know he's sneaky because of how randomly he just appears. If Madman comes up behind him, as I've said, even if he hangs him, he doesn't know how strong Victor is. He's going to be either struggling to keep Victor up on the rope, or he's going to realize that when the rope breaks, Victor will fall and he's coming down and he's going to be pissed off and go into beast mode. But the biggest reason Victor wins is I have never heard of Madman 2, 3, or a fourth sequel. I've heard of Hatchet 2, 3, and Victor Crowley.
Ooh, that's a low blow. That's a low blow. All right. Okay, since we're doing that, I want to say Madman had 10 kills on this film and Victor had 9 since we're doing that. All right. I'm just saying.
Do you mean across his films? Because I think Victor has a pretty higher...
That's not fair because the film didn't do well because of budget and all that. It's not fair to say that. And there is a part 2 being thought of and spoken about and a remake. So that's a low blow.
That you were trying to film.
All right.
And you know what else was a low blow? That shovel hit.
All I know is that look, in a fight together, you're right. I get everything you're taking on board, everything you said, right? And you have to remember, it's only one film we're all going by, and just I'm sure what's his name has more abilities than other parts of the films and stuff. No, I don't know, but
it gets convoluted.
Yeah, with a lot of sequels like that, and I expect that too. Anyway, but the thing is that when it comes to brute force together, I think speed does. For me, speed. I think they're both brute. They have brutal sides, but I think the speed has a lot, and I think Crowley has the speed. To be fair, and I hate saying this, but yeah, he does, and he does come across more aggressive. In like brutal, like there is more aggression in him. It seems like more aggression. Like he might be clever, he just doesn't have time to be stealthy because he's too aggressive. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to a fight, and you still have to use your brain, and I still think Madman, despite with strength and all that, he still has an edge. He still may win that fight. I mean, it's as you said, it's unpredictable. I still think in a fight, and if you've ever been in one, you still have to think. Someone could be just punching you in the head, or you think, right, I'm gonna block this one. You know, you still have to think, and I think Madman is more of a thinker, a little bit more anyway, not much, but a little bit more. So Madman for the win. You tides, get out of here. Get the hell out of here.
I'll tell you this. I want you to be writing a Madman musical now. I want to see that.
Listen, I'm going to direct part 2. Remember I said that.
With an iPhone.
Dedicated to you guys. Yeah.
You know, that might actually work.
The first 2 kills on that film, the first three kills, my characters are going to be named Davey and James and Victor. They're all going to kill straight away. All right, that's it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, look, I'm just going to be bringing my friends and whoever to this film screen and be like, "That's supposed to be me." That there, yeah, the guy literally drowning in the toilet. That's supposed to be me.
And it's going to be in the toilet. It'll be like your head down the toilet or some shit like that on purpose, right? And remember, I'm directing it. But you know what?
And then Madman gets his fingers smashed by a toilet seat and he goes, ah, and he runs away.
No, see, on the sequel, he's more prone to pain because after being hit on the hand with a stick, you know, Jesus, how could anything
handle Madman by
apparently
Lego onto the ground and he steps on it.
He went to Catholic school and he started to get hit by rulers.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So you should know, you're in Ireland, you definitely must have went to a Catholic school.
Jesus.
Getting hit by rulers all the time. But as I say,
I went to a Catholic school. There was no being smashed on the knuckles by rulers. Although, granted, the second school I went to had priests as the principal. So,
all right. So let me educate you. I'm Irish. I was born in Ireland, and I lived there, for 7 years. And I was right-handed to left-handed, which I forgot. And I used to get on the knuckles, but we're talking about early 80s, and it was only for a brief amount of time. I know it stopped, but I used to get hit on the knuckles with a ruler every time I did anything like that. So,
it shows that you build up more of a tolerance than Madman Marz.
Yeah, so I should play Madman Marz, right?
Yeah, because you have more of a tolerance than he does.
But apart from that, I've enjoyed our discussion.
It was
really good to meet you, James. We were a bit worried how you'd be.
Mine.
Yeah, we weren't sure because you've never, doing something live with people, or not live, but doing something with people we haven't known before, it mightn't turn out. I've experienced it. I don't want to say who, but I've experienced very noisy people, and when they were on camera, it was no, for fuck's sake. So yeah, it was good. So we'll do another video at you sometime soon. And especially now that you all agree that Madman won.
Nah,
so
forget Madman. Now, but see, James is probably going to become a permanent panelist on this Terrordome. So, your what is this? Your interview. You successfully passed your interview, sir.
Oh fuck yeah!
Well,
so does this mean James is going to make a YouTube channel soon?
I have no idea. I might have to, but it'll just be me. It'll just be me ranting about horror movie power levels.
Do you watch The Walking Dead?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
All right, so that is our debate. We are now exiting the Terrordome, but everybody in the audience, please let me know. Who do you think will win out of Victor Crowley and Madman Marz? Who do you think have the better arguments, me and James, or do you think Derek held his own and was able to actually conquer the two horror titans that are me and James? Let us know in the comment section down below. What we're going to say?
I was going to say, can we say this, though, that if Danielle Harris was facing off against both of these guys, she kicked the shit out of them?
Most likely because Danielle Harris is a badass.
Obviously.
So before we exit out, please head to Del Boy's Movie Math News. I will tag it in the description, so you guys make sure to go to the description and click it. Let us know who you think won this debate. Let me know who you think will win in a fight between these two characters. If you have not seen both of these movies, I will recommend watching them. They're fun movies to watch, even though I feel like Madman's a little bit boring. But that's a conversation for another day. But you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys are having a magnificent day. And everybody say adios to the audience.
See ya.
Yes.